Living from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful women.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformation Summit. I'm Sue Urda. I'm one of the publishers at Powerful You Publishing, and I am your host for this Transformation Summit, which I am so happy to be here with all of these amazing women who are authors in the upcoming book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women. And I get the honor on this summit to interview them. And so I love to do this because I get to ask them questions so you can learn more about them, so you get some information for your own transformational journey. And it's not just about transformation. A lot of these authors are talking about wellness and mind, body, spirit connections and coaching and how to get the mindset going and how to shift things for yourself. So this is great information. So I'm so happy you're here listening. Today, I get the honor of speaking with a woman, Karen Flaherty, who I've known for many years, actually, I think going on 15 years or something like that, maybe even longer, but it's something like that. And she's terrific. I really like her so much. She's one of our trainers, actually, for our authors on the topic that she'll be talking about today, which is human design. And I'm going to read a brief introduction of Karen, and then we'll get started talking with her. Karen Flaherty is a certified human design specialist and the best-selling author of Getting to Know You. Before finding human design in 2009, Karen spent 30 years in marketing, training, and sales positions in the New York and New Jersey area. She brings this wealth of knowledge of the corporate world and her own life experience to her human design consulting practice. Karen is passionate about helping her clients discover their purpose and their genius. She works with individuals, couples, and families, as well as businesses and entrepreneurs, to find a new way of reinventing their lives in the 21st century. And Karen, I am so happy to be talking with you today. How are you?
I'm great, Sue. Thanks so much. I'm so glad to be here with you.
Me too, because I love the topic that you're talking about. The human design work is transformational for so many people. And so I'm happy that you're going to be introducing that and talking a little bit about what it can do. So, and your topic that you chose for the interview, vibrations, values, and energy shifts in 2020. It's like, yep, that's happening. And embracing your human design to go from chaos to certainty. And, you know, a lot of people are going to love that because I know for me, you know, 2020 has been a little chaotic, a lot of stuff going on. So I love that you're talking about this right now. It's very, very timely. So let's start, Karen, by talking about human design. Can you tell us what is human design and how did you find out about it?
Oh, great, Sue. Well, you know, thanks for saying that you are passionate or love it. And obviously I love it too. It's something I've now devoted my life to and have been doing it for, you know, I found out about it in 2009. So it's been a little over 10 years that I've known about it. And human design is, I'll just briefly tell you what it is, and then we can talk a little bit more about it and what, you know, other things about it. So basically, human design is a personality assessment tool, kind of like Myers-Briggs or DISC or some of the other things that are out there. What I like about human design is that it's based on our birth information instead of questions. I always got bored, personally, answering all those questions with all the personality tools that are out there. And they were always, you know, relatively interesting, and they always give some information, but they never really got to the heart of the kind of the questions I was asking. The kinds of questions you would ask your therapist, right? Or you would ask your best friend, or you would ask your, you know, your boss sometimes, to kind of clarify, how am I really doing? What am I doing and how am I doing it? And what's consistent about me and what is different about me than other people, right? Because the thing is, once we know what is really true for us individually, and that's really the beauty of human design, is that every single chart, which will look something like this, when you get it from me, is a little bit different. There are basically, I mean, I've run charts for over, you know, for the 11 years that I've been doing this, and I actually geekily figured out with my husband one night that there are 3.5 billion different combinations that you can get on a human design chart, right? And so the likelihood that you're going to meet the other person in the world who, you know, 7 or 8 billion we are now, who actually has the same chart as you is kind of rare. What is interesting though is that people in your class, like when you were in high school or even in your grade school class, they'll have some of the same kinds of things in their chart that you have in yours. So there are generational ideas within human design, and then there were very unique specific ideas and consistent values that you'll have from day to day and time to time. And that's why it's actually based on birth time. So we take the birth information, and then it's basically done through software. And so with that, we're able to create what we call a human design chart. And from that chart, I'm able to see a lot of information about you. And from that information, then we can have a conversation about what's important to you, what's your life purpose, what's your journey in the course of our lifetime. We call it our incarnation cross. There are lots of different pieces of information in there that give us the really unique you. And you know, when I did your chart, we found a lot of really unique pieces of Sue Urda. And and I found a lot of really unique pieces about me. It's the kind of thing that, you know, you think you kind of know that it's in, that you might have this consistently in your life, but you're not really sure. So with the human design chart, then we can confirm what's really you. For example, willpower or sympathy or empathy or kind of being able to understand somebody at a really deep level when you get to know them. Or even when you just meet them. Some people are very good at that. Other people, not so much. And that's okay. It's like we all get to have our own consistencies and our own ways of looking at things. And because of that, we get to have a unique view of ourselves that really fits our path in the world. And when we know our path, and we know more about our path, and we kind of embrace that, that's when we start to live our own lives and really feel a lot better, actually physically, a lot better emotionally, and a lot better kind of in our own power, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a nice thing to be when you're kind of trudging through the world as a feminine power.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's almost like some people find out about themselves and it's like a relief. It's like, oh, well, that's why. So I get it. It's not my fault maybe that I've been doing this or showing up this way or these things happen. It's like, it's okay. I can relax into that. And then now I know this, so I can now maybe operate a different way in the world.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a totally relief for a lot of my clients when they hear about their human design and really and then they're really able to step into it, and they're able to see, oh, what I wanted to do when I was 20, that really is me. That really is what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I love that. So for you personally, Karen, what influence has human design had on your life?
So when I found out about human design in 2009, and I never actually finished that story, but in 2009, I found out about human design from my teacher, Karen Curry Parker, who is still teaching, and we just had our International Human Design Conference recently, and I was a speaker at it, which was really nice. Because I've been doing this for 10 years, I've become somebody who knows quite a bit about it. After 10 years, you pretty much become an expert, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. I've been living and breathing it for 10 years since I found out about it from Karen. She happened to be speaking in Princeton one night, and I went down to hear her, and I found out about it, and I just couldn't get enough of it, basically. But the way it's changed my life is that little did I know in 2009 what was about to transpire over the course of the next few years. My mother died, my brother died within a week of each other. I was going through some health issues and joint issues, trying to find out what to do about that. I was in a job that all of a sudden, because it was a recession, they decided to take away my salary. And so I was able to keep the commissions that I was making as a salesperson, but the salary went away pretty abruptly. And that was a surprise. So there were a lot of things that happened in 2009 that, to be honest, if I hadn't known about human design, I would have thought my world had just gone topsy-turvy, and there was no way that anything could have really, saved me at that point, because I'd already been through a number of different upsets over time. And believe me, if I told you all of them, it's like, this is why we're here, right? This is why we're here, to learn all these lessons. And with human design, I was able to find out these were the lessons for me, right? If I hadn't had all these lessons, I wouldn't be able to talk to my clients the way I do. I wouldn't be able to have the empathy I do for them about, illnesses and grief and deaths in the family and adoption and all kinds of things like that. So for me, one of the biggest things, and what I wrote about in the book, that the anthology that you're putting out, The Art and Truth of Transformation, I actually wrote about the failed adoption that my husband and I went through in 2007. And so this was just about 2 years later I found out about human design. I was still recovering at that point, I would say, still grieving and still trying to figure out what I should do next, to be honest. I did have a job, but I knew it wasn't probably going to last that long. And I was looking for something new. And so when I found human design, I said, at first I just thought it would be a hobby, but then I really got into it and I realized how much it was changing my own life and then how much it might change other people's lives. And just for example, I was able to talk to my mother before she passed about her chart, which was actually quite different than mine. She and my father were, as we say in human design, one type, and my brother and sisters and I were different types. And so she had some things in common with the six of us, but some things it was very different in her chart. And so she was just here for a different purpose. And so when I was able to explain that to her and explain my father's chart to her also, because he had already passed, it made such a huge difference to her. And literally it was maybe weeks before she passed that I had that conversation with her, because I was still learning about human design. I learned about it in January and she passed in September. So I was able to talk with her over the summer about some of the things that I found in her chart that just helped her to feel so much better about why she was here and what she was here to do, and why her life really was a lot more fulfilling, meaningful, contented than she had ever dared to think it was.
Wow.
And so it was very meaningful for us. And it's become meaningful for some other members of my family. Not everybody wants to hear about it, but the ones who do, it's been very helpful to them, and as it is to my clients.
Wow, that's great. So let's talk about your clients. When you work with clients, what can they expect when working with you and learning their type, and what happens next?
I run the charts for people when they send in their birth information, and those are always free on the website. Then once they get their chart and they're able to see a little bit more about it through the videos or through the description that I send, then we're able to, if they're interested, have what I call a 2-hour session, an individual session, which will allow them to hear more about themselves. And over 2 hours, we can talk quite a bit. I like to tell my clients that if we were on the beach with a drink, we probably could talk for 10 hours about your chart. That's how much information is in there and how much has happened over time, right? What we're looking at is what's in the chart and then what's not in the chart, right? So what's consistent energy and what's not consistent energy for you. So some people don't have willpower. That's okay. They're not supposed to have willpower. They have other ways to make decisions. And when we look at the chart and kind of put all the pieces together, it's really like a puzzle, as my teacher says. We see that there are some pieces that are there and some pieces that aren't. And what does that create? What kind of life does that create? And where have you been conditioned, as we say, by your family, by your teachers and colleagues and friends? We've been conditioned by other people's energy. And so once we kind of suss out which is your energy and which is not your energy, then we're able to come up with, oh, well, why does my relationship look the way it does, right? And why does my boss act the way he does? And why am I acting this way with my children, for example? Or why am I running from job to job to job? Why can't I ever kind of sit in one career? Or why can't I really find what I want to do? Why do I keep, getting in these dead-end jobs or dead-end relationships? And so you get to see all those energies that contribute to those behaviors. And when you see where, then it starts to make a lot of sense, right? You can see where the chart is saying that your consistent energies are, and then where your behaviors are, and then we're able to figure out, well, then what's the plan going forward? How do you make those changes in your relationships? How do you make those changes in your career, or your spirituality, or your parenting, or any of those things? And that's actually why I wrote the book that I did, Getting to Know You, because I took it from the point of view of how can human design help you with each of those areas, right? We all have those different areas of our lives that we think are separate, but really they're all the same, right? They're all because of us. It's because of the choices that we make, and that's what human design is. It's really about a decision-making strategy for you that will work no matter where you are, no matter what's going on. And then it's about all the consistent energies in you that have been kind of hijacked over time by your significant other or your boss or by your children or by other people.
Yeah. Wow. So this is so amazing to me because it's such a tool. It's really a tool that we use for our lives to understand and then to move forward with decision making is what it sounds like. So, in the times we're in right now, I'm sorry, you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say it is a tool, and yet it's not like it's in your hip pocket. It's actually, if I can just clarify a little bit, it's an awareness. It's not like you have to pull it out and say, okay, I dare you, or I'm going to take care of you. It's really an awareness, Sue. And this is what we talked about last weekend at the conference, that it's really an awareness that kind of sweeps over you. And literally, when you find out about human design, that time, whenever it is, however it is, once you know about it, it's an awareness that then sweeps over you and you start to see things in a different way. And so it's not like you have to pull it out and be aware of it or make sure that you got all your, T's crossed and I's dotted every time you go out and have some kind of interaction with people. It's really an awareness. It's a very graceful, kind of elegant way of looking at you. And then you get to be you. And that elegant you just shows up wherever you are. And so it's not like you have to pull it out and, do something with it. It's really, you get to be yourself in the situation and then just notice, right? Notice how you're acting differently. I, just for example, with 3 of my remaining siblings, had a lunch in January. Granted, I had just gotten out of a very peaceful meditation seminar, but I sat at the table and instead of, arguing or teasing or doing something, to provoke any of them, I just kind of sat there calmly and listened to the conversation. And so at the end of the conversation, later on, they were talking to each other and they said, "What do you think was wrong with Karen? Do you think she was on drugs?"
Wow.
Which I've never done. Do you think did she take like a Xanax or something before she met with us? Or do you think there's something wrong with her? And I just had to think that was pretty funny because 10 years prior, it would have been a shouting match over, who's doing what and why are you doing this with your children and why is this going on with your family and your husband and all these things going back and forth, right? And yet I was able to be peaceful and calm and have a conversation with them and in a way that was peaceful and joyful. And that's what most of my clients report after they have worked with me. The cool thing is I've created a course now called Up-Level Your Relationships. And from the women who just went through the recent course, I can tell you it was pre-COVID. All of those women are living their lives. They're calm, they're cool, collected. They've got great relationships with their significant others, with their children, and they're still doing their careers or jobs in a way that doesn't have them scared. Because I think right now, it's really important not to live in the fear that this chaos can create, this uncertainty can create. So many of us are living in fear, and that's really not good for our immune systems at the very least. And it's not good for our, our mental, it's not good for our sleep. It's not good for our systems. It's not good going forward. And it's not good for our kids, right? Our children need to know that this is going to be okay, that there's a way to get through this, and that there's nothing bad that's going to happen. This is a change. It's a transformation. It's a transition. It's whatever you want to call it, but it's a different age that we'll be transitioning into that is not going to look like it did before. Mm-hmm. So we get to grieve that, but we do need to be there for, I need to be there for my clients. You need to be there for yours. People need to be there for their kids and for their significant others, because there are a lot of people who are fearful out there, and I don't want them to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and human design, knowing your type can help with that. Absolutely, having a better understanding of that and how you're showing up. I love the story you told about being with your family, because a lot of people, of course, especially after having lived all of these years connected with them, you know, there's all of this stuff, right? We all have history with them. And so all these things come up, and it's like so amazing to be able to be calm and cool and collected. And like they think something's different because it's not the same dynamic, because now you've decided to make it different, and which is really cool. I love that. Yeah.
It's the reality. It's what really happens with families.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and everybody is experiencing a lot more stuff in their lives, emotions, chaos, decisions to make, uncertainty, all of that. So it's really very interesting. So do you have anything more to say about that in terms of these times?
Well, so I wanted the way it kind of ties together is that when you know yourself better, and I'll say, you know, it can be through human design, it can be through another modality, it can be through whatever works for you, right? There are lots of different things out there, and so whatever it is that allows you, you know, if you want to keep going to your therapist, great. If you want to use a different tool, a different personality assessment tool, a different energy modality or healing modality, whatever works for you, just find something that will bring you to a place of peace and calm so that you can understand what's important to you, right? Because if we can stay solid in ourselves, Sue, what I found is that knowing exactly what's meaningful to me, for example, my big values, as Brene Brown says, are integrity and trust. And so I trust the universe, I trust God that we're going to get through this, that everything's going to be okay. And I'm going to have integrity in myself, right? Integrity in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and how I'm taking care of people and how I'm offering actually free services to a lot of folks because they say they can't afford it now. And so I want to be helping as many people as I can and helping them get to the point where they know themselves well enough that they can stand in those values, right? Stand in that consistent value so that they understand that no matter what happens outside, it's okay inside, right? That nothing's going to shake me. Nothing is going to make me so different that I can't be peaceful and calm in myself, that I can't remember to breathe. And that, because that's a big piece of it too, is remembering to breathe through all of this. I find the breath work really helps, whether you're meditating or exercising or getting a massage if you can, or anything like that. Anything where you can breathe through the experience is a big help. And it also helps to relieve our triggers when those things come up. But the breath work is a big deal, and being able to be calm in the moment, even if it's just a few moments a day, even if you're just meditating for a few moments, or getting out and breathing in the air, or smelling a flower, or playing with your dog or cat, or anything like that. Any of those things that bring you pleasure, that bring you serenity or peace or whatever you want to call it, those things are really important right now. And the more moments of those we can get each day, they add up. It's like a bank, right? We can keep adding to the bank each day, so that we're feeling better and better. And we will get through this. That's the other thing, is that we will get through this. It's trusting that we will get through this, and trusting that we'll find the ways and the means that we need to stay in our power and to get through this.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Karen, this has been great. I so appreciate talking with you and learning more about this. You know, I do have an understanding of human design, and yet, you know, things you shared with me today, I really do appreciate, because it deepens my understanding of that. You know, I know that there are many people on the call right now that are listening to this and saying, you know, hey, I want to know more about my human design. Tell us how we can do that with you.
Okay, great. So thanks, Sue. It's easy to get a chart that is about you, and you can go to my website, which is livingbyhumandesign.com. That's livingbyhumandesign.com, and on there you will see lots of different green little buttons to get a free chart. You'll just fill in your birth information. That would be time, date, and place. And then you'll and your email address, so I can send you the information, and then you'll get a free chart. I also have a new complimentary human design course for people who are relatively new to human design. So you'll be able to get that and see that if you like, and some videos. And beyond that, then people can go to Amazon to get my book, Getting to Know You, or to sign up for a free, on my website, you can also sign up for a full individual session. And I also do sessions for, besides individuals, I do sessions for couples or for entire families, so that it would be both parents plus the children.
Great. Awesome. Well, Karen, thank you so much. As I said, I love this. I love the work you're doing. I love you. I love everything and how you're showing up and the things that you provide. And gosh, I feel more calm today because listening to you. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate you.
Sue. It's all going to
Yes.
be okay.
All okay. I know. I'm there. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right. Terrific. And listeners, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for listening, because I know that you also are on a path of conscious living. You are more aware of what's going on, and you want to be more aware of what's going on for yourself in your own life, in your spirit, and how you show up in the world. And that's what these authors are here to talk to you about, is to help to ease your way, your own transformation in the world and how you're showing up today. So thank you for that. I'm going to mention what Karen said for you today. Maybe you just think about this: breath work. Breathe and just imagine your breath in and out and in and out, and bring that ease and calm and peace into your life. And also say to yourself, all is well. I invite you to do that today. And also I invite you to buy the book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women, which launches on October 20th. And you can go to our website, transformation-book.com, and you'll be able to, we'll guide you to Amazon to get your book on that day, October 20th. And then you come back with your receipt number, plug in your receipt number into our website, and you'll have access to 35 or more gifts from our authors and partners. And the gifts are awesome gifts. You'll love them. There are meditations and coaching sessions and free consults and just a bunch of stuff for you. It's all free. So besides this wonderful book, you'll have all these wonderful gifts. So definitely do that, transformation-book.com on October 20th. And thank you all. I wish you all a beautiful, happy day. Bye for now.